Hello everyone, and welcome back to XCOM Long War. Last we left off, a small alien UFO crashed in the middle of nowhere, and Courage is freaking out. How will he save Mariel this time? By calling in the exterminators. That's right, we've got all sorts of alien repellent, from an assortment of explosives to high-caliber machine guns. We've got a little something for everyone. Having played this map before, we know that directly north of our starting position, on the right we have the crashed UFO, and on the left we have the barn. It being a small crashed UFO, we also know that there are only 2 pods plus an outsider. And if we play our cards right, the outsider will be the last alien to activate on the map. The first thing we do is make good use of our brand new motion tracker to make sure we aren't walking straight into an ambush. As it turns out, things are even better. We have milled only 2 moves away, and not an alien in sight.
That's what we're looking for.
Yes it is, Olieva. With still no aliens in sight on our tracker, we know it's safe to move again. The beauty of the motion tracker is threefold. We know our immediate surroundings, if you don't see any red dots you can guarantee you won't trigger a pod, and it has 3 uses, each lasting a full turn. With all those benefits, it is totally worth the item slot, allowing us to act more aggressively and without sacrificing safety. With sight on a pod just across no man's land, we move everyone else up in preparation for our assault. But here at XCOM, we have our priorities straight, and the first thing we do is inch closer to the meld. Olieva sets the trail, and everyone else carefully follows in her footsteps, as we're probably skirting that pod's line of sight. Damn it, Richards, when I said follow in her footsteps, I meant it literally. Oh well though, we have 2 tangos to the west, and they've brought some drone support. I move Lee up into suppression range of the drone, and proceed to take a few shots. With only a single hit, however, its armor keeps it alive, so we set an overwatch for the tangos and unload on the drone with a suppression. One tango moves just into range in a clever ploy to avoid our overwatch. Unfortunately for this little guy, he can't have his cake and eat it too, so he's too far away to reliably hit any of our soldiers. And, with sight of the purple stuff, we know the other tango is not on overwatch. Back on our turn, we finally get some meld, and we did it safely, all thanks to our handy-dandy motion tracker. But we still have 1 tango out of sight, so we use the second charge of the motion tracker to find out where he's gone. With confirmation that he's towards the left, we know which cover we can safely take without getting flanked. Now, we really want to destroy the drone, but a couple of 35% shots can't seem to hit it. So instead, we bring in our fearless leader with her 42% shot. I said, with her 42% shot. Damn it. The unfortunate thing about drones is that once they're airborne, there's not much you can do but try to improve your accuracy and take repeated shots until you hit it. So, with it looking like it'll survive this turn, we pop smoke for safety and suppress. While the drone is harder to kill, the sectoid is far more deadly, so we choose him as our target. Unable to get a grenade high enough to hit the drone, I take one last shot at it. Now, for reasons I don't quite understand, the second sectoid waltzes up and mine merges with this sectoid being suppressed. As it turns out, his chances of hitting were probably below 25%, so we opted to boost the other sectoid's ability to inflict pain with an overwatch shot. The drone uses his moves to get a flank on us, but that turns out to be the biggest mistake of his life. However, it doesn't have to regret it for very long, as its life is promptly ended. With the drone dead, we proceed to foil the alien's plan of catching me on an overwatch with our trusty flashbang. With the overwatch gone, Lee moves to flank the merger and fills him with hot lead.
Wait, can we talk about this?
Unable to get a good shot on the other sectoid this turn, Olieva uses the last motion tracker charge to make sure we won't activate another pod. We move to surround it, and we wait for the next turn. Thanks to the flashbang, we can be confident that the partial cover will keep us safe, and we can spread out without need for another smoke. With low aim and XCOM rapidly closing in, this cowardly sectoid does what they always do in this situation. He hunkers down. Fat load of good it will do him though, as Richards is able to get the flank. 1 pod down, and 1 to go. It's either in the barn or the UFO. Since I would rather engage it separately from the outsider, we head towards the barn first. Can you hear it? That's the sound of our last pod, which is apparently comprised of drones. I reload the team in preparation for the encounter, and before you know it, my suspicions are confirmed. One drone is annoying, and 3 are a pain. We'll have to get close in order to hit them, and that puts us at risk of being flanked. The team starts moving up to the closer full cover when I spot a gift from the XCOM gods. Brown can land a grenade on the roof and hit all 3 drones. As a bonus, they're halfway into the blast radius, so we can expect an average of 2 damage. I'm not exactly wrong, but the distribution isn't entirely how I'd hoped. Still, with their armor, every point of damage is a boon. After a failed attempt to finish one off, I set Olieva into Overwatch and move the rest of the team into position. Here's crossing our fingers that the aliens haven't gotten around to calibrating the drone's targeting computers yet. As it turns out, our soldiers could use a little calibrating themselves, but no worries, as the drones still haven't been fixed. Well, I guess now one of them has been. The drones have a neat little ability that allows them to repair each other. They can repair up to 3 damage at a time, and with how hard it is to deal damage to them this early in the game, it's a real pain in my backside. But things aren't quite that grim, as Olieva has a fairly good shot. Thankfully, the rookie Zykov is able to do what our veteran can't. We need to end them this turn, or they'll have the opportunity to flank Olieva and Zykov, which could very well spell another dead soldier. I refuse to lose someone on 3 missions in a row, however, and so we pull up our bridges and get down to business. There are 2 left, and we only have slightly better than 50-50 chances to hit with any of our troops. But when the chips are down, I can count on Steinman and Brown to bring their A-game. With both pods down, it's time to finish this and engage the outsider, and so we move towards the UFO. I hear the sound of meld coming from the opposite direction, and I figure it probably has 2 or 3 turns left, and I decide it will be quicker to kill the outsider than to run back for it. Everyone gets into position to kill him next turn, and we neutralize the threat using a flashbang and suppression.
Hi, Commander. Moving to Overwatch.
The outsider takes a shot, but with a combined aim penalty of 80, it's a futile effort. Brown opens up with a devastating AP grenade, followed up by a flank from Olieva. I move Steinman in for a flank as well, only to come to the realization that I placed her 1 tile too short. Slightly panicking, I check my options in case she misses. I suppress and think about popping smoke. And, in a moment of sheer insanity, I decide to flip 2 coins with Steinman's life. The XCOM gods continue to smile on me, however, and Richard pulls through. And so ends Operation Dark Paramour. Eustace and Mariel are safe, and their dog Courage couldn't be more ecstatic. Back at the base, we have 5 promotions waiting, and with the 14 meld we retrieved, on top of other alien artifacts, and doing so with no casualties, this has been our most successful mission yet. Here's to hoping they all go, in the immortal words of Bradford, by the books. After selling the damaged UFO components for some quick cash, it's time for promotions. This is what I've been waiting for, what I've been craving. Brown picks up Sapper, which will allow her to reliably destroy almost all cover with HE grenades. It can't be put into words just how viable being able to deny cover is. Then we have our wonderful gunner Lee. As a gunner, I much prefer suppression to Overwatch, negating the usefulness of covering fire, on top of which our infantry are the ones who can become the Overwatch champions. Hollow targeting can be useful, but I take flush instead. It increases my accuracy in exchange for damage, allowing you to reliably finish those 1 health enemies. Plus, flushing into reaction fire is always a fun tactic. Richards becomes our third gunner, allowing us to reliably have one consistently in rotation for missions. And Steinman, filled with inspiration from her leadership in the last mission, follows in Alieva's footsteps and graduates to infantry. I was tempted to choose assault, and both are important, but not to worry, we'll be getting plenty of both in the months to come. Or at least I hope so, otherwise our first terror mission is going to be horrible. And as for Zykov, we finally hand out our first rocket launcher. With his amazing facial hair, I'm confident his rockets will always stay on target. With promotions out of the way, we get back to scanning for threats. Now able to get down to the third level, we begin excavation of the steam vent. It's not long before we spot a bogey nearing one of our satellites. Since Punchy is still with the mechanic, we scramble Royal to intercept.
Bangs out.
The UFO is down, but there are survivors at the crash site, and the one thing we cannot abide here at XCOM is alien survivors. Just like last time, we'll be taking a large assortment of smoke and flashbangs. Unlike last time, we'll be taking our sniper instead of our gunner. This map is apparently urban, and I have a feeling I know which one it'll be. Hopefully our sniper will have a nice rooftop vantage to rain death down upon the aliens. After they're all geared up, we head out of the armory to get on the Sky Ranger.
We have visual on the mission site. Setting down.
Get ready to deploy. Our AO is within the continental United States. It looks like the UFO went down in a densely populated area within the city limits. Let's just hope everyone on the ground stayed clear.
It looks like the UFO has crashed in the middle of my hometown, City, United States. I'll see you next time for Operation Banished Throne. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.